Hello, dear children of class 7, and welcome to yet another online class of general knowledge. Dear children, today we are going to do lesson number 8 from your GK book, Side Effects of Mobile Phones. Side effects of mobile phones. But before we get on to the side effect of mobile phones, I would like to talk with you regarding a brief history of cell phones or mobile phones as you know. Dear children, one of the greatest revolutionary inventions that human beings ever made was long distance communication, right? We were able to not only communicate with people near to us, but we were able to communicate with people even far from us, right? Like when the postal system was invented. Now in the beginning, postal system was carried through messengers or carrier pigeons, right? But there was still a time lag. Like suppose if I am sending a message through a carrier pigeon, I will have to wait up to the time till which the pigeon reaches the destination and brings back the reply. Today also, if we write a letter, we can't be 100% sure that letter will reach within few hours, depending on the distance. It can take a day, it can take two. But the people, what they really needed was real time communication. People needed to talk with people far away from them as if they are sitting right beside them. And that's when the telephonic and telegraphic communication came into existence. The use of telephone and telegraph. Telephone, dear children, was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell. He revolutionized the long distance real time communication. All you had to do was put up calls, right? And talk with people as if they are sitting right beside you. But still, there were two drawbacks in this which affected people. Number one, all the telephone communication was done through cable. Huge telephone lines had to be laid, telephone poles had to be wire phones had to be erected, and wires had to be laid. Telephone itself was wired into the home. It means you could not carry it outside, and you always needed the use of cable. Secondly, the size of the telephone. The old telephones, if you have seen them, they were very large. So still research went on, and afterwards same telephone got reincarnated as cordless phones. Cordless phones or wireless phones, as they were called, had no wire. Still, they were very large in size, and the only work you could do on them was call somebody. You could only call somebody. The wire's advantage was taken away. People could now carry it, use radio signals to transmit with each other. Military used it as wireless headsets, and all that. Then came cellular technology. Instead of putting up cables, only thing was done was tower was erected, and with the help of radio frequency, that is what you know as RF or radio frequency, communication started, and this is from where cellular technology was born and cell phones were invented. Now, dear children, the coming of cell phone was a huge leap forward. But in the beginning, if you know for a fact, then in the beginning, the cell phones were used for only one purpose, calling. Even messaging service was not there in the cell phones of the beginning. Messaging service was introduced later on, because till that time, for messaging, pager used to be there. And after that, they integrated pager into cell phones, and the first messaging and calling service was started by cell phones. And today you see, cell phones have gone so forward that we don't even call them cell phones anymore. we call them smartphones. What do we call them? Smartphones. Why? Let's see. If you have a mobile phone today, right? If you have a mobile phone today, then what do you have? You are carrying with you a calculator, you are carrying with you a camera, right? You are carrying with you a mini computer with browser and all. You can listen to internet, right? You are carrying a music player, right? You are carrying with you a movie player, you are carrying with you a Game Boy Mini, one of the small gaming pads, right? So these are only few of the things that I am talking about, few of the things, right? And one thing I forgot to tell you, you are also carrying with you a storage disk, right? You can store anything out there. So you see, when you are carrying a cell phone, you are carrying so many devices all at once, it all bundled up into one pack, that is a mobile phone. Hence today mobile phones are not just referred to as mobile phones anymore, they are referred to as smartphones. Now obviously smartphones made our life more convenient, more easy, they made our life better in a good sense. But obviously every coin has two sides, right? With the advantages there came certain disadvantages also, especially for you young kids. Cell phone, the overuse especially, has many devastating effects. Like, first one, overexposure to RF emitted by cell phones can lead to neural and cardiac diseases. Today we spend most of our time on cell phone. Even the class that I am doing right now, the class which you will be going through, is with the help of cell phone, right? But we have to fix up a time for it, because like I told you in the beginning, cell phone emits radio signals, or RF. Overexposure to RF can lead to neural disease, that is brain related diseases, as well as cardiac, that is heart related diseases. You see, dear children, this is for a fact that if you play a game on cell phone, or if you log on to Facebook or anything on cell phone for a very long time, you will automatically start suffering from headache, at least headache, eye pain. This is a proof that cell phone tech is very dangerous, especially if you are overexposed to it. Secondly, joint related problems. See, most of us, when we are using cell phones, we don't keep our posture straight. Whether you are sitting or whether you are standing, we obviously slouch a little. At least whenever we are listening to music and all, we keep our head down like this. This can lead to joint related problems of neck, back, and so on. So this is another problem. Third problem, which is actually due to gross human negligence, accidents. Frequently, dear children, we come across the news that people, while using cell phones, while driving cars or while crossing the roads, they were using cell phones and they got run over by another vehicle or they got into accidents and died. What does it show? That cell phones in one way are responsible for accidents. How cell phones are responsible? Because cell phones, especially with apps and games and social media and everything, cell phones are like I told you, like a mini computer, like TV, a movie player. So whenever we look at it, when we are going through it, when we are browsing a net or playing a game or anything, our almost more than half of the focus attention is on the cell phone. If you have noticed this one on the road, when you are walking on the road and when you are using cell phone, you will see automatically the hand in which you are holding the cell phone, your body starts tilting towards that. That's why sometimes when we are walking on the road, without knowing, suddenly we go into the middle, and when we realize, we come back. This thing has happened with you, and it happens with many of us. So luckily, luckily we don't get into accidents. I hope you also don't. But sometimes accidents do happen because of this, especially people while driving, they look to cell phone, they miss their focus on the road and they get into accident, whether they get hit by another vehicle or they hit a walking crossing person or something like that, or they break some traffic rule and get into trouble. So accidents happen. And one thing, loss of recreation and family time. Family time. You see, there was once upon a time when people of a family used to meet together early in evening. They used to sit at the dinner table and they used to chat about what happened during the day, right? Or they used to concentrate on eating, and they used to get together, right? They used to watch serials together. But nowadays with cell phones, what has happened? Everyone is lost in their own world. People, even when they sit with the food, they have with one hand they eat the food, on another hand they are using the cell phone or mobile phones. What happens? You are losing valuable family time. You are losing valuable time in which you can connect with your parents, and in which your parents can connect with you. Not only this, dear children, due to overuse of cell phone, people have lost their ability to engage in recreational activities, cooking, gardening, cycling, many of such activities which earlier people used to go outdoors and do, that has been limited to a great extent by overuse of cell phones. So you see, cell phones have their own problems, right? But it is the technology of the present time. We can't avoid using it, right? Correct or not? But what we need to do is, we need to limit its use. We need to limit its use. Saying so, we will go through few of the benefits that we can get. You have seen the side effects of the cell phone. Now we'll talk about some of the benefits if we switch off our cell phones for some time in a day. Let's see what are those. So I'll read the question out for you. Okay. First one is, avoid using mobile phones when you are spending quality time with your family, friends and relatives. When you, like I told you, when you are with your family, friends and relatives, you need to stop the use of cell phones. What it leads to? It leads to happy time. Happy time. And children, one thing more, the basic etiquette also tells us that when we are surrounded by elders, we should not have our focus somewhere else. We should focus on what they are telling us. It's rude that they are talking to you and you are busy on your cell phone. It shows your arrogance. That should be avoided. Second one, avoid using mobile phones while driving because it is dangerous and may cause serious accidents. It prevents accidents. It prevents accidents. Then comes number 3. Avoid using mobile phones while reading books, cooking new dishes or enjoying your favorite activities, because this is the time allotted for recreation. This is the time allotted for recreation. And the last one, too much texting on mobile phones can cause pain and inflammation, swelling in the thumb and wrist area. This one is prevents injuries. So you see, if we can remember to shut our cell phone for some time in a day, we can enjoy all these activities too. Remember, cell phones are important, but they are not our life. We have a life besides cell phones, and we must be sure to live it to its fullest. And to end this topic, I would like to state a word given by Einstein himself. Mr. Einstein once stated, I fear the day when technology will overtake human imagination and creativity. That day we will have a generation of idiots. So, having said this, I think you understand what he wanted to say. I will end this chapter right here. I hope you have understood it. There is no homework apart from the fact that you will learn it from the book only. Thank you very much. Stay safe.